Most people who start a business this year will quietly quit within 6 months. Not because they were lazy, not because they lacked money, but because nobody told them these 7 rules. Every year, ordinary people, from bedrooms, garages, and kitchen tables, build businesses that completely change their lives. But at the same time, thousands of people invest everything they have, their savings, their nights, their weekends, and they lose it all just because of one wrong decision made in the very first month. The scary part? That mistake is completely avoidable. In the next few minutes, I'm going to show you the exact roadmap, how to choose the right business, how to understand your numbers, how to find customers who actually want what you're selling, and most importantly, how to avoid the traps that silently kill most businesses before they ever grow.
Part 1. Which business should you start? Imagine 2 people, Jeffrey and Donald. Jeffrey spends 6 months creating the perfect business plan. Color-coded spreadsheets, market research, a 40-page document. Donald launches a simple version in 2 weeks. Rough around the edges. Not perfect, but live. 1 year later, Donald is making money. Jeffrey is still on page 37 of his plan. Why? Because business rewards action more than preparation. Now, how do you make sure you're picking the right business to act on? There are 4 things you need to evaluate. Factor 1, startup cost. Every business requires money. The question isn't whether you'll spend money, it's how much risk you're taking on. A freelance design business might cost a few $100s to start. A restaurant can easily run you $100,000 or more before you serve a single customer. Guess which one gives you more room to make mistakes? Factor 2, skills you already have. Most people think they need to learn business before starting a business. That's backwards. Businesses don't pay you for knowing business theory. They pay you for solving problems. If you can edit videos, build websites, design graphics, write content, manage ads, or organize data, you already have something people will pay for today.
Factor 3, scalability. Here's the question that separates good businesses from great ones. If tomorrow you suddenly got 1,000 customers, would your business become more profitable? Or would it completely collapse? Your answer tells you everything about how scalable your business really is. Factor 4, speed to launch. How quickly can you get your first paying customer? Because the market doesn't care how good your idea sounds in your head. It only cares whether real people will actually pay for it. A business launched in 30 days will teach you more than an idea sitting in your notebook for a year. Done beats perfect, almost every single time. I analyzed 100 businesses and picked the most profitable one. Check out the link below. Picking the right business is only half the battle. Coming up, the mindset mistake that kills most entrepreneurs before they even start.
Part 2. The mindset most people never develop. One of the biggest mistakes entrepreneurs make, comparing their day 1 to someone else's year 20. They look at a billion-dollar company and think, I could never build that. What they don't see is how embarrassingly small it started. Let me tell you about Airbnb. The founders, Brian Chesky and Joe Gebbia, were so broke they literally couldn't pay rent. San Francisco, one of the most expensive cities on earth, and they had nothing. So what did they do? They started selling cereal boxes, not as a joke, as a real business strategy to survive. Imagine calling your mom and saying, don't worry, I'm building $1 billion company. Right now, I'm selling cereal. Sounds ridiculous, right? That company is now worth over $75 billion. Here's what that story is actually telling you. Most successful businesses look completely unimpressive in the beginning. The first version is messy. The first customers are few. The first profits are tiny. But that's not failure. That's how it's supposed to look. The goal isn't to start big. The goal is to start and improve. Because every giant company you've ever heard of once had exactly 0 customers. Mindset locked in. But here's where most entrepreneurs make their most expensive mistake. And it has nothing to do with marketing or customers. It's about a number most people never calculate.
Part 3. Know your numbers. Most business owners know how much money they want to make. Very few know how many sales they actually need to get there. That gap is where businesses die. Let's go back to Jeffrey and Donald. Donald launches a burger business. He invests $10,000 to get everything running. Each burger earns him $5 in profit after costs. Quick question. How many burgers does Donald need to sell before he makes his first real dollar of profit? Think about it. The answer is 2,000 burgers. Until burger number 2001, every single sale is just paying back his investment. He's not making money, he's recovering money. This is called your break-even point, and not knowing it is one of the most common reasons businesses fail. Now here's the part that stings even more. Jeffrey launches his own business. 6 months later, he's excited. He calls Donald and says, "Bro, my business made $100,000 this year." What he doesn't mention is that he spent $95,000 to make it. Revenue sounds impressive. Profit changes your life. Know the difference, protect the difference. But where do you even begin finding the right business idea in the first place? The answer is simpler than you think, and it's been hiding in your daily frustrations.
Part 4. Find a problem worth solving. Here's something nobody tells you about billion-dollar businesses. Most of them started by solving incredibly ordinary, boring, annoying problems. Uber started because Travis Kalanick couldn't get a cab in Paris. That's literally the origin story. One man, one frustrating night. One question: why is this so hard? Netflix started because Reed Hastings got a $40 late fee from Blockbuster. He thought there has to be a better way. None of these started with a genius invention. They started with an annoying problem. So here's your challenge right now. Think about the last time you said, "Why is this so annoying?" That frustration might be a business. The bigger the problem and the more people who have it, the bigger the opportunity. Find the problem, create the solution. Then make that solution faster, cheaper, or easier than anything else out there. That's how businesses are born. Great, you have your idea. You found the problem. Now, most people's instinct is to go all in immediately. Don't. I'll show you why in the next 60 seconds.
Part 5. Test before you go all in. Here's a brutal truth that most business videos won't tell you. Most businesses don't fail because they're bad ideas. They fail because nobody wants what they're selling. Picture Jeffrey. He spends 6 months building his product. He loses sleep. He spends thousands of dollars getting it perfect. Launch day finally arrives. He sits there refreshing his website, waiting. One sale comes in. Then nothing. He refreshes again. Nothing. That's expensive feedback, and it happens to thousands of people every single day. Smart entrepreneurs do this differently. Instead of building the perfect product first, they build the simplest possible version. Then they let real customers decide whether it's worth improving. Because the market is the only opinion that truly matters. Not your friends, not your family, not even your own gut feeling. If people are paying, you're onto something. If they're not, something needs to change. Test fast, learn fast, improve fast. People are buying. Money is coming in. But here's where Donald almost destroyed everything he built, even when his business was profitable.
Part 6. Managing your money. Here's something that sounds completely impossible. A business can be profitable and still go bankrupt. How? 2 words: cash flow. Cash flow is the oxygen of your business. Without it, nothing survives. It doesn't matter how good your product is. Here's what happened to Donald. He lands a massive deal, $20,000 worth of product sold to a corporate client. He's celebrating, texting Jeffrey, calling his mom. But his client won't pay for 90 days. That's standard in corporate contracts. Meanwhile, his suppliers need to be paid this week. His rent is due. His staff needs their checks. On paper, Donald is profitable. In reality, Donald is broke. That's the cash flow trap, and it has swallowed businesses that were doing everything else right. Here's how to protect yourself. 1. Separate your personal and business finances completely. Day 1, no exceptions. 2. Track every dollar coming in and going out. Every single one. 3. Always keep a cash reserve. Enough to survive at least 3 months without a single sale. Most businesses don't die because they're unprofitable. They die because they run out of cash. Never forget the difference. Cash managed, business running. But here's the final mistake, and honestly, it's the one that breaks my heart the most to see, because this is where great products go to die.
Part 7. Marketing and Sales. Imagine you invent the greatest product in history. It genuinely improves people's lives. It solves a real problem. It's priced perfectly. There's just one problem. Nobody knows it exists. How much money does it make? 0. This is the most heartbreaking business failure there is, because the product deserved to win. Here's the uncomfortable truth most people don't want to accept. A great product with terrible marketing almost always loses. An average product with excellent marketing almost always wins. Marketing isn't manipulation, it's communication. It's how customers discover you exist. It's how trust gets built before someone ever buys from you. It's how strangers become buyers, and buyers become loyal customers. Jeffrey finally figured this out. He stopped hiding behind his product and started showing up on social media, in communities, in conversations. He stopped waiting for customers to find him and started going to where the customers already were. 3 months later, his business looked completely different. Marketing isn't optional, it's survival.
Remember where we started? Jeffrey, the guy with the 40-page business plan who never launched. Here's what happened to him in a parallel universe, one where he watched this video. He picked a business that matched his skills. He launched in 30 days instead of 6 months. He learned his numbers before he spent $1. He tested before he went all in. He kept his cash safe, and he marketed like his business depended on it, because it did. Is that version of Jeffrey a billionaire today? No, but he's building something real. Something that grows every month, something that gives him options. And it all started with one decision: to stop planning and start. Your first business doesn't need to be perfect. It doesn't need fancy branding or a huge office or outside investment. It simply needs to start. Because the fastest way to learn business isn't reading about it, it's building one. And your first customer might be much closer than you think. If this video helped you, subscribe, because next week we're going even deeper.